What's up YouTube? Mountain Song Outdoors here, and we are back again with another video. So nowadays the world's definitely a scary place, whether it be civil unrest, whether it be power outages that leave us without food, water, and electricity for days, or whether it be a worldwide pandemic. We are definitely in some very uneasy and trying times, especially in today's world. It seems like you never really know what's going to happen, but there's always this uneasy feeling like something's going to happen, and you just don't know what it is. With that being said, there are some things we can do to be better prepared for those situations when they arise. So here are 5 things that you can do as a beginner to start prepping. The 5 items that I chose are not for any specific scenario or event. They're just 5 basic things that you are going to need for your survival in an SHTF situation. And they are 5 basic things that are definitely worth stocking up on. So, with that being said, stay tuned for the video. Alrighty folks, so these 5 things on my list here are not categorized, with number 1 being the most important, number 5 being the least important. I think that these 5 items are probably the most important things, in my opinion, when it comes to preparedness. So keep that in mind. And also, I would just like to say that I consider myself a bit of a practical prepper. I'm not really worried about the zombie apocalypse or World War III breaking in my backyard or something going down to where I'm going to have to live in the ground for 3 years. I'm more or less worried about natural disasters, civil unrest, power outages, grocery stores running out of food, whatever it may be, real world problems that have happened and that will continue to happen. And like I said earlier, the 5 items that I chose will get you through any scenario no matter what happens. So with that being said, let's dive right into it. Alrighty folks, so the first thing on my list is going to be food, because it is an absolutely essential item to our survival. And as you saw during the pandemic, the first thing people do when something's about to go down or when an SHTF situation breaks out is panic buy items at the grocery store, leaving the shelves empty. That is why I believe it's a good idea to have everything bought before anything goes down and stored away before anything goes down. That way you don't have to leave the comfort of your own home. And when it comes to prepping food, there are 3 things that I keep in mind. Number 1 is going to be the shelf life date. You want to prepare things that are going to last you a while. Number 2 is going to be nutrition. You want to prepare things that are going to be good for you, also good to eat, stuff that you enjoy eating. And that leads us into number 3. Number 3 is going to be, I'm going to prepare foods that me and my family eat on a regular basis. That way when the foods that I have prepared get close to expiring, we can rotate them out, eat what's going bad, and put back in something that's good for another few years. So just some things to keep in mind when it comes to prepping food. You want to prepare canned goods, dried grains like rice, beans, flour, things like that. Canned meat's great. It's got a ton of protein in it. Stuff that's got a very stable shelf life and is going to be good for you nutrition-wise. That is definitely the way to go, in my opinion. So I prepare things like, bagged rice, canned chicken, canned beans, pastas. And you can also go the route of this quote-unquote prepper food, emergency food. I have a few of these 72-hour emergency food supplies, just as kind of a break glass in case of emergency item. They got a super long shelf life. These things are good for like 20-25 years. They might not taste the best, but in a pinch they will definitely get you to where you need to be. And that's why I believe it is also good to have a few of these on hand as well. But start with the basics. Start with the canned goods, with the rice, things like that. That'll get you going. And then if you want to add a few of these to your preps later on, by all means do so. Really easy items to cook in an SHTF situation. Items that have a very stable shelf life. That is how I go about it. And the way I prep my food is instead of going out and spending $300 on, a few weeks worth of food or whatever it may be, I spend a couple extra dollars each trip at the grocery store, buy a few items and put them away, to where me and my family know that the only time we're going to grab these items is in an SHTF situation or when they're getting ready to expire. That way we know we always have them on hand and they are ready to go. So you can go about a few weeks without food, but only a few days without water. And that is why water is going to be number 2 on my list. Not only is it great for drinking, but in times of power outages and things like that. Like at my house, we have no water when the power goes out. We can't flush the toilets, can't turn on the sinks, nothing. So water is essential not only for drinking, but for doing things like brushing your teeth, going to the bathroom, washing your hands, hygiene, things like that. So water is great to have. I believe they recommend you have a gallon or 2 a day for drinking water per person. I try to keep it 2 gallons a day per person. That way we have enough to drink and do our hygiene task for the day, whatever it may be. So the way I prep my water is every time I go to Walmart, I buy a few of these jugs. These are about $1.30 a piece, and I put them away. And I always make sure to grab spring water. They say that's better for you to drink than like the distilled and purified water and things like that. So I always try to grab the spring water, and we put it away just like the food. We know it's there if we need it, but we don't touch it unless we absolutely need it, and we are good to go. So it's not practical to have 3 years worth of water on hand. It's just going to take up too much space, too much real estate in your home. So think about things like where you can find water nearby, how you're going to purify that water. It's good to have a water filter, purification tablets, a way to boil water. If the grid goes down, you can't use your stove, whatever it may be. Think about items like that, and also items that you're going to need to cook and prepare your food if the grid would go down. We have a propane grill, a charcoal grill, we have camp stoves, things like that. So cooking in a grid down situation is covered for us. But if you're only going to have one item for cooking and boiling water, things like that in an SHTF situation, I would definitely recommend the cast iron Dutch oven. These things are tough as nails and virtually indestructible. Not only can you boil water in it, but you can cook. You can make rice in it. You can make beans in it. You can make soup in it. You can cook meat in it. You can bake bread in it. It's probably the most versatile piece of cooking equipment I own is my cast iron Dutch oven. So I have that on hand, and food, water, and also a way to prepare your food and water. You're going to need to address sickness and injuries in an SHTF situation. That's why medical supplies is next up on my list. I have sort of 3 levels of first aid. I have a basic, regular old first aid kit. I have an IFAC, like an individual first aid kit that has a bit of first aid supplies, medical supplies, and trauma supplies in there. And that one I keep in a pouch. That way I can transfer it between different go bags, different, vehicles, things like that. I always have an IFAC. And then I also have a larger trauma kit. Another thing to think about too is training to use all this supplies, because it is useless without the proper training. Trauma kit that I do keep in my bug out bag, which stays in my vehicle at all times. 4 on my list is going to be hygiene. You want to be able to keep yourself clean and keep yourself fresh during an SHTF situation. Hygiene supplies. You're going to want some toilet paper, paper towels, wipes, things like that. You're going to want some soap, some dish soap to be able to wash your hands, wash your dishes, wash yourself if need be. Contractor bags. That way you don't have a bunch of trash building up and piling up. Maybe some rubber gloves. You're going to want toothbrush, toothpaste, mouthwash, things like that. Stuff to keep ourselves clean. Stuff to give us sort of a sense of normalcy. Things like that. Hygiene definitely goes a long way. If it's a bit of a longer term SHTF situation, you don't want to start developing rashes and toothaches and cracked up feet and blisters and things like that that are going to slow you down. That is why hygiene is going to be number 4 on my list. And the way I prepare my hygiene is that every time we buy like a pack of toilet paper, I'll take 1 roll out. I put them in bags and put them away. If I'm going to Walmart, maybe I see soaps on sale, I might pick up an extra thing of soap. Or, if I see trash bags cheap, I might pick them up. Stuff like that. I don't have a huge boatload of hygiene items, But I do have some things like trash bags and toilet paper and toothpaste just for if we ever may need them. And last on my list is going to be firearms. You're going to need to be able to defend the things that you have prepared and put away, and also protect your home and your family if need be. Alrighty, folks, so firearms made it onto my list because not only are they great for home defense, self-defense, protecting the things that we have prepped, but they are also great for hunting. They can put food on the table if need be. If I was new to firearms and didn't own any firearms and I was purchasing a firearm for preparedness, I would go with the handgun route because you can keep a lot of ammo on your person in a small package. You can keep a lot of ammo stored away, not take up a whole lot of real estate. They are easily concealable. You can conceal them on your person, in your vehicle, in your pack. If you're running around with a rifle, everyone's going to know that you have it. A handgun is definitely the more slicker, sleeker option. They carry all the firepower that you are probably going to need in an SHTF situation. That is why I would go with a handgun. If I owned a handgun and was looking to purchase a rifle for an SHTF situation, I would go with a 22. The reason I would go with a 22, I know most of you are probably freaking out right now, but the reason that I would go with a 22 instead of a M4 AR style platform rifle is that, number one, they're quiet. I ever need to use it for hunting or anything like that, it's going to be super quiet. I'm probably not going to give up my location, and it's really not going to cause any fuss. Another reason is that I can buy 50 rounds of ammo literally for $3. I can buy 500 rounds of ammo for $20. Put a lot of ammo away with not that much real estate, and I can carry hundreds of rounds on my person and not weigh myself down whatsoever. So a 22 would be my way to go. And if you're new to firearms, just make sure you get whatever training you may need to operate them safely. Alrighty, folks, so we have food, we have water, we have medical supplies, we have hygiene items, and we have firearms. If you're new to preparedness and just starting from scratch, or if you're just beginning and don't really know where to start because it can get pretty overwhelming, that is a good baseline, in my opinion. So feel free to drop a comment below and let me know what you all have thought of the video, or if there's something that you think might be an absolute essential to someone first starting out, please drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. And before we head off, I just wanted to give a big shout out to all my subscribers. You guys and gals rock. You really do mean the world to me. And it's been awesome hearing everyone's feedback on the videos. I really do try to read everyone's comment and respond within a timely manner. So if I don't, I am sorry, but I do try to get back to you as quickly as possible. So keep those coming. It's been awesome hearing from everybody. I hope everybody's been well. And to everyone that's new here to the channel, welcome. Feel free to check out my older videos if you'd like. If you're just here for this one, that's cool too. But yeah, until next time, that's going to be a wrap, folks. Thanks so much for watching.